Hey, what's up? We are speaking with Dan Donegan from Disturbed. How you doing, sir?
Good, doing great.
Thanks for calling in, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So what's new and exciting in the Disturbed camp?
Just been writing. We've been real busy. I mean, everybody kind of, our personal lives have been busy as well, too. You know, Mike, our drummer, just got married a couple weeks ago, and I just had a baby boy about a little over a month ago. So, you know, we're all just kind of balancing family life and trying to get back in writing mode, which we've been kind of hitting it pretty hard. So I think before Mike's wedding and before the baby came, we wanted to get a majority of the material written, which we seem to be pretty successful at. So we're just kind of fine-tuning a lot of stuff right now.
So what's the next album going to sound like compared to the others? You got any surprises for us?
Definitely, as far as musically, it's a lot ballsier than we've written. I think there's going to be those signature things that are us, just because stylistically that's the way we perform, and you know, David vocally, it's always, you know, going to sound like him. So you know, he's got some big melodic moments, but you know, there's some still aggressive stuff, just a lot ballsier than I think. I think trying to get a good blend of the elements of the past 3 CDs to try to evolve into something a little bit fresh and new for us as well.
Let's say the heavy metal community received the last CD quite well. What do you think?
Yeah, it came out great. You know, there was a little bit longer time in between CDs that we had hoped for, between Believe and 10,000 Fists, and there were a couple bumps in the road and a few things we had to get past. And you know, at that time, my daughter was born during the break. You know, David was spent a little bit of time in L.A. We were in search of a bass player at the time. So there was besides writing the material, we had to go through the whole bass player audition and spend time and make sure that we were comfortable before we came back out, that we had our guy. So you know, it was just a little bit longer than we had hoped for, but when 10,000 Fists came out, you know, it debuted at number 1, beating out Bon Jovi that week, and you know, it's pretty satisfying, even though it's, you know, in the long run it may not matter. It's more of a bragging rights thing, but I think to us it feels good to know that we had time off, in between those 2 CDs to be able to come out and still have the fans, frantic about it and really anticipating what we had. So hopefully it'll be the same way. We're really, excited about this material, probably more so than we have been in the past. I think we're just anxious to get it going.
You know, I thought when you guys came out, you were the band that kind of fused, all the old school fans to the new school of metal, if you will. I mean, you get that vibe a lot from people?
Yeah, it's so over the years, when people try to categorize us, and I don't know what you want to call it. I mean, whatever you want. There's all different labels that come up. You know, to us, we grew up on the old school metal bands. Like you mentioned, Iron Maiden and Priest and Sabbath and Queensryche and all those bands were big influences on us. And I just think the term, heavy metal has just kind of changed to what it is. What it is today is not what I remembered it as.
Right.
And that's putting that down. It just I don't know how that term it changed. So I don't care as far as what category we're lumped in, but we've always been kind of the type of band who likes to incorporate melody and a message in our songs, much so like those metal bands from the 80s. Yeah.
So I was chatting with your manager yesterday, and I just kind of randomly brought up I was going to ask you your opinion on the state of music, and you started chuckling. Are you opinionated on that, or what are your thoughts?
I don't really, unfortunately, I don't really pay attention to it, anymore. I mean, I'm a huge fan of music, but there hasn't really been anything, new and exciting, and I think that we just kind of continue, moving along, doing our own thing, and there's not. It would be nice to have more bands that we could be kind of lumped in together to kind of make it a stronger scene. I mean, with the exceptions of bands like Korn and Godsmack, and now System of a Down is gone. There's not enough of that. So it would be nice to still make a statement within the industry. But like I said, there just hasn't been a whole lot of new stuff that has really caught my attention. I mean, it kind of all sounds the same.
Right.
I dig a few songs here and there from some of these bands. I think there's some good musicianship, and there's some, as a guitar player, there's some good guitar players that are kind of up and rising that I think are good players. But I just haven't heard really strong anthemic songs, in a long time.
Yeah, I hear that. What do you jam to when you're just kicking around the house, just doing your thing?
Lately it's just been trying to, listen to kind of the old stuff that could inspire me, for what we're doing today. I mean, usually I like to try to listen to a little bit of everything to keep us sounding fresh and new and stay on top of it. But lately it's been a lot more of going back to, Faith No More and Sabbath and Maiden and stuff like that, and Queensryche, just to kind of look for some more inspiration of those bands that got me going in the first place.
Absolutely. So what do you think? We may see you guys on the road this year? You're just going to record the album, chill out, and then head out next year?
I mean, right now the game plan is to hit the studio this fall. I mean, that's where our heads are at. That's where we feel that we're ready for it. So as long as we get the green light from the record label to give us our budget and let us go in and make this record, then that's our main goal right now. It's just bang this out, get it ready, and then more than likely we probably wouldn't hit the road until after the first of the year. But I don't want to rule that out. Anything's possible in this business. Things pop up all the time and opportunities pop up. But the main priority is once we get in the studio, it's highly unlikely that we're going to leave until we're finished with the CD.
Right.
I don't want to put it off. Once we get in that mode of recording, we like to just see it through and finish it.
Let me ask you, what do you tell young up and coming guitar players that want to get out there and do what you've done?
Well, I mean, not just guitar players. I think just local bands overall. I mean, we've been very passionate about the local scenes growing up, when we were part of it, and I always still keep an eye out for any upcoming talent to try to help along the way. And there's a couple bands that we've kind of been trying to work with a little bit to get going. And I think that the thing that a lot of these bands and some of these musicians lack is the hunger.
Right.
I just think that they really get lazy. And it's unfortunate because in our position, if we meet a band, a lot of them think that, okay, well, now we met the guys from Disturbed, maybe they could now we could sit back and let them just take it to the label and wait for our deal. It's not that easy. You got to want it more than anybody else. You got to work hard for it. And I think as far as guitar players, I think that it's got to. Your instrument has got to kind of become every a routine, like everyday thing, like getting up and brushing your teeth and eating breakfast, and
right.
It's just got to just come natural to you. That it's automatic. You pick up your guitar, you're constantly trying to not just improve it as a player, but just to try to improve as a songwriter. Because I mean, overall, that's what it is. You don't have to be the best guitar player in the world, but if you develop your skills in songwriting, I mean, that's what's going to get people's attention. You want to send a message and have material that's going to get that kind of reaction out of people. And you can't really second guess it either, though.
Right.
I think when we were coming up, we never we started out a garage band doing it for ourselves, and we never imagined that there was any radio or anybody that would play what we were writing. We just we hoped that it would happen someday, but we never thought it would come to that. But I just think, like I said, you just got to be hungry, and you got to go out there and want it more than the next band does.
Absolutely. I saw the little notation on your page. You can have anything you want in this world as long as you're willing to sacrifice everything for it. I thought that was quite inspiring.
For sure. I think that's just always been the attitude within all of us within the band. I mean, we've sacrificed so much, and I mean, if you want to get rewarded in life, you gotta make those sacrifices. With any job.
Oh, absolutely.
You got to be committed to what you do, and nothing's ever come easy for us. It's always been a battle, and it does make you appreciate it more when you achieve that certain goal. You know that you earned it because nothing was handed to you, and I don't know. I just think that makes us constantly always. It keeps us hungry as a band still to this day. It keeps us always proving to ourselves that we're capable of accomplishing so much more.
Well, you guys definitely deliver the goods, and Dan, I really appreciate you calling in today.
Thanks, Joe. Hey, what's up? This is Dan from Disturbed, and you're listening to my good buddy Joe on the Big Rock Show.